and welcome to today's podcast brought to you by Martech, the video podcast where we bring you the latest trends and insights in marketing and technology. And today, to share her journey, we have with us Abby Hehemann, Director of Product Marketing at GetResponse, who is customer first and product obsessed. Abby, thank you for joining us.
Thanks a lot for having me. I'm happy to be here today.
Thank you so much, Abby. So, Abby, you've had an interesting journey with GetResponse, working with them for 8 years and then switching companies and eventually returning. Can you share how this journey has been for you and how GetResponse has provided you with the opportunity to grow to where you are today?
Certainly. Yeah, it's not particularly common these days, I would say, to have such a long tenure at a tech company and then to leave and return. But really what it speaks to, I think, is the emphasis on support and growth that GetResponse has really facilitated, I would say, with its employees. So it's been an incredibly safe space for me to grow and experiment and learn new things. And then when it was time to kind of spread the wings and learn from another organization and way of doing things, another industry, they were, completely supportive. And then when I was ready to come back and actually apply some of those learnings from 2 years away in a B2B ed tech organization, it was able to help me even take further steps up into my leadership in the organization. Because really, whenever you've got the trust of an organization and you've got support, I think it really speaks to how employees can really further develop themselves and their skills that also supports the growth of the organization. So that's definitely been my experience, which I'm super grateful for.
Absolutely. At the end of the day, it's all about growth at either personal front or at the organization level.
Certainly.
So, talking about strategic product positioning, can you break down how this approach gets the stage for overall marketing success?
Certainly. It's essential. It's what I and my team spend most of our time on because it feeds the context of what every other single team really should be doing, whether it's from the product development team in terms of the, solutions they should be developing into the product. It goes into prospect facing teams for how they should describe the solution, what audiences they should be targeting, wider marketing teams and how they should actually be building out the messaging and communication that's going to describe the solution. And it's really essential to help make sure that there is a true strategy behind how your product is positioned, where you are in the market space, how you compare to the alternatives that exist in that space, and who are the groups of people, organizations that you're best going to be able to solve problems that they want solved. And that takes a lot of research, that takes a lot of insight gathering. It takes a lot of, best educated guesses as well, because you have to always balance this way that you want to gather so much possible data and interviews to make the right decision. But that can also lead to a form of paralysis if you feel, because you'll never have all of the data that you need to make the decisions, especially when launching a new product. But it is essential to spend the time on market research, on competitive analysis, and then do your best work that you can in analyzing that data and really where your organization and product has the best chance for success by positioning it correctly, which is basically a long way of talking about context. Positioning is just a way of providing the clear context for your ideal buyers on how they should think about your solution. But it takes a lot of time and it's intentional time, but it really feeds what everything else that comes after, from the development to the marketing and sales of that solution. So it's important.
Right. It's really fascinating how positioning can influence the entire marketing strategy. And it takes a lot of time to, come to the conclusion that how exactly do you have to position. So speaking of customer-centric strategies, let's dive in deeper into your approach that, how do you ensure customer-first approach is always at the heart of your marketing strategy?
Certainly. So that also starts with that research phase, right? Which is just talking to people, but it can't only be that, right? Because there's also a lot of biases and a lot of other issues that come from when you only make your decisions based on what kind of interviews are telling you, which is what I originally thought. I originally, in my early days of positioning, was talking to, as many customers as I could, and then that being the main and primary data points that I use to dictate the rest of positioning. But that's just one component. But that is actually where it all starts, is actually to talk to people. So it is gathering customer insights that helps you. But you really have to then make sure you're using your positioning context to make sure you're talking to the right customers. That's very important, so that then you can make sure that you're embedding the right insights into the right subsequent marketing and sales activities. So you're not actually taking not every customer is going to be the ideal customer for your scenario. So you have to be really intentional about who you're speaking with and where you're getting your insights from. But then it's also a combination of other kind of customer-based activities, product usage data from your customers, other types of quantitative surveys that you're running in addition to surveys, and then also further market insights so that you can kind of understand the context of how your customers and buyers are actually operating outside of your own ecosystem. I was just on a call with my product marketing team just a moment ago, and they were all talking about the various customer conversations they've had and new surveys that are going to go out this week. I mean, that was such a big part of our meeting, was talking about the distillation of all the insights they gathered this week and what they're doing next week to keep gathering more to fuel the projects. And I just feel so proud because I remember dark days of my past when I couldn't remember the last customer conversation I had. And that's when I really knew I had a reality check that this is not going to be the way forward if I want to succeed. So I'm really a proud product marketing leader today, knowing coming out of a team meeting where everybody has had lots of conversations and have surveys planned and other things as well. So that's a way to say you have to gather the insights and then figure out how you're going to execute on them, to be customer first, to be able to show how in which your solution is able to solve problems for customers that they want solved. So, and that's your communication, or even more importantly, feeding that back to maybe your services team or your product team for how they can be offering up solutions that will actually solve the problems that your customers want solved. So it's one thing to put those findings in your marketing and messaging materials to help tell these prospective customers, hey, we solve your problems. But it's more important to actually keep feeding that back to your development teams, your customer support teams, to help make sure that your customers continue to have super high level experiences that you want your organization to be associated with, because that's really, customers are paying you for this service. So you should keep making sure that your product and your services are actually customer first and solving that problem. So that's super important to me as well.
Absolutely. I mean, customer feedback should be at focus to achieve an excellent and efficient marketing strategy.
Sure.
So, you just mentioned about the team. So as you're a leader and you have a fantastic team of product marketers, can you share some insights on how you manage and motivate them to achieve their goals?
Certainly. And a lot of it stems from both in terms of, motivating a product marketing team, but motivating teams in general, which is a lot of clarity and communication. They seek clarity and what are the objectives? What is it that's expected of me and my project to help move this organization forward? So it's my responsibility as a leader to make sure that our general objectives as a team for the year, for the quarter are clear, but then for the projects that I have each of them working on, a clear objective that we are working toward with each project or each accumulation of project for a quarter and a year. And then it's empowered. And then it's to say, here's what we want to do. Here's the overall scope of your project. Go do it how you see fit. And that's really where I have seen and learned so much from the various wonderful product marketers I've had the privilege of working with over the years, is I learned so much by giving them that empowerment and not feeding them the prescriptive ways that it should be done. Because I don't know everything, and I know less and less, I feel, as time marches on. But really, I continue to grow through their ability to grow by actually executing their projects in the way that they see fit. Then it's certainly collaboration, making sure that they are not isolated. We are a hybrid and mostly remote team. So, everybody's scattered across the globe in different places. So I do have to make sure I facilitate collaboration for them to have working sessions and that they can actually work together on things. That's super important. And then finally, it's recognition. It's calling them out both, in a positive way, both privately and then in, group meetings where appropriate, to just share the good work that they've been doing and really recognize the contributions that they've been making. And I would say our product marketing team is incredibly engaged, focused, and we have a very long tenure of people who join our product marketing team. So I think we've got something good going.
Sounds like a well-rounded approach to team management.
Sure.
So now trying to understand what all unique roles you have to play. I mean, I'm sure you must have to wear a lot of multiple hats a lot of times. So one such is translating between the product and market. Can you elaborate on the role and how you ensure clear communication and alignment? Since you just mentioned that the team is all across the globe. So how do you maintain it?
That's right. Communication and over communication really cannot be stressed enough. You should never make assumptions that people know what you're doing or what your team is doing or that you know what they are doing. But it's such the easy way that I see most of us fall into. You just make assumptions that you're doing a lot and others are doing very little. And it's most often somewhere in the middle. And it just starts creating a lot of incorrect assumptions about how all these teams are working toward what should be a similar goal. And so communication is what's essential. And I think product marketing really does have the responsibility. It's why this function really exists, is because of the dissonance that was occurring between the traditional marketing teams, product teams, and sales teams. And so that's really why product marketing exists today. It was to help fill that siloed gap that was really coming between those teams. And so it is the responsibility of product marketing to keep that communication loop continuously flowing, to make sure that we are communicating the market need. All of these insights we're gathering, how does that get back to product? How does that get back to marketing teams? How does that get back through sales? That's incredibly essential. But then also to make sure is there alignment. You can't just be throwing all these data points at them and assuming they're going to take it on. You have to then facilitate alignment. What does this mean for us? How is this changing that project? What do you disagree with this? So we have to make sure that there's actually action and alignment from the communication that you're providing, and just keep it going. Never stop. It never can stop. And so that's really the main thing, is keep communicating, but ensure that something happens from those insights and things that you're.
Impressive. I mean, it's a very fine balance. Right. So as a leader, how do you view the culture at GetResponse, and how does it contribute to the company's success and your own professional development?
Sure. Yeah. And product marketing is a really excellent function to be in and to be leading in this era of, tech companies, and with a lot of product led as well, motions being forth, even though we still have, very strong as well, like sales led motion at GetResponse. But really, though, we know people are buying products. People are buying original products. Of course, they're buying the solutions that they solve for, but they're buying products. And so it makes a lot of sense that the product marketing strategy is really what is quite central to, as I've mentioned before, all of the other cross-functional departments works. So it's a really great place to be able to continue to grow and develop and rise in leadership positions because of how strategic the decisions that we make at product marketing and the recommendations we put forth are, both for the current, sales and acquisition and retention goals that we have as an organization, but also future strategic development that the, company at the board level may need to make some decisions upon. And product marketing has such a unique opportunity to deliver the insights that top executives at the company may need to make really big resource decisions for what's next for the company. And so thankfully, GetResponse is incredibly on board with the value of product marketing, resourcing this team. So I would just say it's an excellent function to be in, and it's a really excellent, I think, time and moment for product marketers in this, software technology world that we operate in right now.
Interesting. So finally, would you like to shed some light on your broader mission about, empowering online marketers and business owners? Can you tell us a bit more about the mission and the specific strategies you use to get succeeded?
Sure, certainly. And GetResponse has been in business since 1998, and with a mission that still drives us today, which is to be able to provide affordable, easy to use marketing solutions for busy marketers out there who don't have a large team and lots of budget to be able to buy every niche tool that they might have a preference for. So what it was back in 1998 was just a simple email autoresponder, solving this need, this problem that folks had for, hey, somebody new bought my product or signed up for, my service. I need to automatically send an email. And back in 1998, that was cutting edge technology that GetResponse was one of the first to provide. But then this requirement to keep, staying up with what are the needs of those marketers today in 2024, 2025 and beyond, because we see more and more marketers and folks actually starting up side hustles. They've got their 9-to-5 job. Maybe it's not actually within, traditional digital marketing, but they're starting up their own side hustle that they want to market it and stand it up and be able to do their own thing. And they don't have a lot of time, nor do they have a lot of budget. And so that's why our original mission stays the same. We want to continue to provide the tools and technology that the modern marketer needs to promote their products and services online, but without breaking the bank or needing a dedicated marketing team. And so that's our ultimate mission and goal. And then we want to facilitate that through education, right? We know we're also in this era of AI, and that's excellent in us saving marketers myself and my team included, a lot of time, but it also really shines the light we see on the need for human intervention, human support,
Mm-hmm.
human brains to make, a piece of content more unique and actually engaging. And so that's
True.
why we want to balance providing AI integrated tools to help save them time with the things they can do, but also have a lot of dedicated one-on-one human support. We have calls with our customers. We have strategic sessions that people can sign up for. We have webinars. We have all types of things where we just want to be able to provide that human support with the technology that we're providing. So that's really, really important to us as well. It's the mix of the tools and products we empower them with, but then actual humans ready to answer the phone and have a call like this to learn about their strategy and make our recommendations for how to use our solutions to make it happen. So it's really right now all about that balance of technology, but human intervention. That's really starting to work really well for us and for our customers.
Absolutely, absolutely. I mean, it's very important how humans, irrespective however and wherever we reach with the AI, human intervention is extremely important.
That's right.
So, wow, Abby, I really had a great time with you, and I mean, I have a lot to take home as a marketing student, I would say. So I really enjoyed hosting you on our podcast with Martech Edge. Thank you all of us for joining us today. If you enjoyed this episode, please like, share, and don't forget to review us, as it really makes a difference. Until next time, please stay tuned with Martech Edge for more insight into all things marketing and technology. Signing off, your host Bhakti. Thank you so much.